Hi, welcome to the Magdalene Center for Healing and Holistic Wellness. My name is Tammy, and this video is for your perusal to understand a little bit more about the values that we'll hold at the Magdalene Center. The first, it's in the name of our community, it's in the name of the center, is for healing and holistic wellness. What does that mean? Healing and holistic wellness at the Magdalene Center means that there has to be an acknowledgement that we are both human and divine, and our work is connecting our divinity and our humanity and healing any parts of us that prevent us from making that connection. When we do make that connection, and when we are able to understand our shadow, understand the what's underneath the creation of the shadow, and to be able to do the work emotionally and spiritually in order to heal it and reintegrate that aspect of ourselves, it heals us in a different way. I think when we think of healing, we think of, especially when we talk about healing the shadow, we think that that means that you are eliminating a part of you, or healing meaning making it better and then making it go away. That everything is all rainbows and good things. No. We're human. We live in this world, and so we're never ever going to be able to say that we are always going to be happy. In fact, I think what we learn through the work of shadow and through the work of recognizing our light and the differences is that it's within the shadow where the best parts of us actually are waiting to be found and to be healed, so that the brightest light that is within us can actually emerge. So it's not being afraid to know yourself so well and to understand the parts of you that you've pushed away, because within those parts of you is really your most powerful self. Most of the time, I believe, I'm just remembering, it's coming to mind right now, so I'm just going to say it. I think it was Marianne Williamson who said, and she's quoted to this, I don't even know if it was actually her, but anyway, so if you know that that's not true, forgive me, but that it's something like the thing that we're most afraid of is our own light. It's like in that vein, right? The thing that we're most afraid of is our own power. I think that that's actually, it's so spot on. That's why it resonated with so many people, even if they didn't understand what she meant. They did, because that part of themselves recognized it. And so that's what this kind of healing does, is it enables us to see, recognize our power, to take it back, and to we can't be afraid of it, because when you integrate it, it becomes this part of you that almost just beams from you. You can't contain it. It just becomes part of who you are. And so that is what healing and holistic wellness, holistic meaning, all parts of you now can function fully and completely within yourself, within your connection to the divinity, which is understanding what is real and what is forever, versus what is temporary, and although can be enjoyed, will also be let go someday. And it's that willingness to detach from our humanity, the willingness to acknowledge that the many deaths we'll experience leading up into the final death of the human part of us, is the work. One of the, I think, also most powerful parts of reading the Passion of Jesus Christ is when he is, near the end of the crucifixion, and he calls out, Eli, Eli, sabachthani. My God, why have you abandoned me? This is where I believe it's a perfect representation of his message, and it happening in real time. It's captured in real time, where there is soon to be this full separation of the body and the spirit. And the abandonment is coming, that calling out is not of the spirit, it's of the body. Because the body wants to stay connected, because it recognizes that it's the spirit that gives it life. That's what holistic wellness means. Recognizing, understanding that, knowing that, so that you can detach from what's temporary and stay focused on what's real. Community. If you watch the first video, you'll recognize how important community is to this work. I can't say it enough. I can't say it in 10,000 different ways. Here's the thing about humans is community's hard. I have been part of lots of different communities throughout my own journey, and all of them have problems. There's something that comes up with each and every one of them because we're human. My hope is that because of the nature of the work in this community, that this one is built differently because we're all working on the same goal, which is not worrying about who's the leader and not worrying about who's the healer and not worrying about what the roles are and who says what and what's good and what's right, because this path, the journey, the way of the Magdalene, the path you'll be walking is your own and your own only. You will have support of the community around you, of people who are walking the same path, but their journey may or may not look like yours. My job is to hold the container, to make sure that container is held in that way, that people aren't offering advice, that no one shows up to be the guru, because if you are, then you're not doing the work. But what we can do for each other is to ensure that we are mirroring and that we can offer up from within us our story, which will naturally, organically, perhaps be a moment of a recognition from within another person that informs their journey. But it will not ever be, this is what you should do and here's why. That is not what this community is about, and there won't be any leaders within this community because no one really knows what's going on. We don't, right? You don't know, I don't know, and people who claim to know, you don't belong here. End of story. And that just means you're at a different part on your path. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. It just means that it's a different path that you're on, a different part of the path. It all leads to the same place. So we'll say that. We believe here that in community, no matter who you are and where you are, and the path you're on is holy. It's holy. It doesn't have to look the same. It doesn't have to look, it's all holy. It's all under the same creator. It's all within the same living breath that exists within me, exists within you, and connects all of us, regardless of whether or not we can recognize where, right? Whether we think we agree. It's really not about agreeing, right? It's about recognizing that people have different paths. People are on different journeys, but everything is holy. All people are holy. The world around us is holy, and it holds intrinsic value just by having breath within it, life within it. And so this is pivotal, and that all of it matters. Every piece of it matters. Every aspect of everyone's journey matters. Every part of the magical natural world around us matters, and it is all part of the whole. And so, we are to walk this path in the magic of the world that surrounds us and supports us as we support each other. And we again, move away from the knowing to the unknowing. That's this path. The path is going away from knowing, from what you think you know about who you are, what you're here to do, what's the answer, until we realize there is no answer. And that you're not going to know, and that we don't know. And again, if you claim to know, this is not the right time or path for you here. It's about living in the mystery. It's leaning into the unknowing. And it's when you can free yourself from the knowing, there's a different kind of awe that we begin to experience, because that creates space for the divine to work in and with us and through us. And we become completely and utterly awe-inspired by the fact that we are just sitting here living and breathing. It's just amazing. So living the mystery, remaining curious. This is another one of our most pivotal values, is staying in the mystery, staying in the unknowing, staying humble, being humbled and being willing to be humbled over and over again, understanding that humility just brings us closer and closer and closer to the majesty that lives within us. And then lastly is hope. Our final value is understanding that peace, hope, love, joy, all of these aspects, the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, is what our work is here in the Magdalene Center, walking the way. And it all culminates with that statement: peace, hope, love, joy. It is our birthright. The 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit feed us, are transmuted. They transmute actually the energies of being human into these amazing, these 7 gifts, which ultimately inform and transform our lives. And it leads us to an inner peace, a different kind of an unshakable hope, an unshakable joy, awe, and wonder that literally permeates every part of our lives and every experience that we have. It's something we must return to again and again, because we are out in the world where not everyone is on the same path, or they're in different parts of their path. And so that's why all the other values matter, right? That's why they're part of this center, because they have to be our foundation, right? Remembering that this is peace, hope, love, joy, awe. That's how we know we're in the center, when we are experiencing those things. When we're out of harmony, when we've fallen out of the center, we need community to help to bring us back. You have to do your own inner work to do that, of course, but community to hold space for you to do that, so you're not alone, and to understand it. Elders, peacekeepers, to help direct you back to it, to be curious and remain curious, so that you begin to ask questions rather than to make statements. You become humble, and that humbleness, the humility, brings you closer and closer to more of the questions and deeper into the mystery, ultimately leading to this place of true holistic wellness through your own healing and your own path. And the spiritual practices and the rituals that ultimately will support and guide and lead you to this place of understanding the mystery that happens within us when we are willing to see, be healed, accept the healing, receive the grace, and allow for that suffering transmutation to these 7 gifts, which ultimately transform our life. It all happens here, and it happens within the center. And it is, I believe, my vocation, and I believe that it is my responsibility to share my story and this work with you, so that you can learn to do it yourself. And my vision and hope is someday that you become a teacher of the same path to do the same exact thing. I can't do this alone. I'm one person, but you got to begin with one somewhere. And so we'll begin. These are the values, the Magdalene Center for Healing and Holistic Wellness. Welcome.